Ms. Napolitano for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I associate myself with Chairman DeFazio's comments and remarks, but I do rise in strong support of 1915, a bipartisan bill, which I introduced with Chairman DeFazio and Congressman Fitzpatrick. Over the last 4 years, my subcommittee has held several hearings on the need to invest in nation's wastewater infrastructure and has heard strong support from our witness for this legislation. The American Society of Civil Engineers gave America's wastewater infrastructure a grade of D+. Imagine D+ in its 2021 report card. The robust funding levels and this bipartisan proposal are critical to improving this grade and addressing EPA's estimated $270 billion backlog over the next 20 years in wastewater and stormwater upgrades. Similarly, in his American Jobs Plan, President Biden further stressed the importance of water and wastewater investment, not only for the number of jobs that will create, but also for how investments in safe, efficient, and sustainable water infrastructure are critical to the health and well-being of every American. Furthermore, the Clean Water Act has not been authorized since 1987, as was stated before. This is over 30 years since we have revisited and updated this foundational law. That's why it is crucial that we enact this proposal before the committee today. It provides the necessary clarity and commitment to addressing the nation's clean water needs. Excuse me. The Water Quality Protection and Job Creation Act is supported by over 60 bipartisan co-sponsors and by over 70 organizations, including state clean water authorities, local sanitation districts, environmental NGOs, labor unions, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, mayors and county commissioners, construction and manufacturing groups, conservation and water reuse associations. The diverse coalition supporting this bill came together because they recognize that America needs efficient, innovative, and resilient wastewater infrastructure. This bill will deliver exactly that. It not only authorizes over $50 billion to modernize our infrastructure, but also ensures that the new investments will prioritize sustainable and resilient approaches that increase the overall protection of human health and the health of our environment and resiliency of our communities. This bill includes many provisions I've worked on and very strongly support. In particular, I have to see the provision that expands support and eligibility for recapturing and reusing wastewater and stormwater for both non-potable and drinking water needs, something that is very important to all of our constituents and community across the West and the rest of the nation that are currently experiencing more frequent and historically severe droughts. I also want to highlight provision in this bill to increase the affordability of wastewater infrastructure funding to economically disadvantaged communities. These communities, which are often communities of color, struggle to afford the necessary infrastructure upgrades necessary to protect water quality and human health, and the increased funding and grant assistance authorized by HR 1950 will greatly assist in addressing these local needs. I am also proud of the increased infrastructure investment on tribal lands, thank you, tribal lands contained in this legislation. As we heard at subcommittee hearing in February, the backlog of tribal sanitation needs is approximately $2.7 billion. And 1915 seeks to partner with tribal communities to address these critical needs. Madam Chair, all our communities are struggling to address the challenges of our aging water infrastructure. Further delay only pushes the burden down the road to future generations, but now is the time to invest in this critical infrastructure. No more Band-Aids, no more kicking the can down the road, please. I strongly support the bill and urge all members to vote yes on this adoption. I yield back.
I now recognize